Hello guys, thank you so much for clicking and welcome to another 91 home gardening video. And on this video I am going to show you how I seed my seeds. I have a few vegetables right here that I need to seed. I have some squash right here. I have a cucumber. I have cantaloupe. And I have some watermelon. I did start these a few weeks ago, and I had plantain here, and I had 4 watermelon, 4 cantaloupe, and 4 cucumber. But my dog decided to eat them, and as you can see, they look like they're chewed up, like if someone came and chewed the top part of it. And I know it was him because over here I had planted my beans. I planted black beans here, and then I planted some pinto beans here, and look, it looks like something ate them. They sprouted it, but it looked like something ate my beans. So I know it was him. And I had planted some here and some here as well. And as you can see, same thing happened over here. Look at the poor plant. So I'm gonna have to start all over again. But that's okay because it's still early in the season, so I still have time to start over again. But this time I'm gonna start them in these little trays, and once they're big enough, I'll transplant them here. And once they're transplanted, I'm gonna put a barrier around here so that he can't reach in and eat the other plants that I am planning to plant here. So that's what I'm gonna do today. So I just wanted to make this video to show you how to seed your plants and how I do it. These little these packages, I bought them at Walmart. I was able to find this for 20 cents a packet, and I grew these last year as well, and they were great. You don't have to spend a lot of money on these seeds. I mean, you can if you want to. If you have the money, you can definitely order some high quality seeds. But I've tried these and they did good, and I'm gonna do them again. As you can see, the bad thing about these is that you might have a few that are bad, like this one. That might not grow, but the other ones look good. So I'm gonna give them a try. And then there's these other ones that are like $1.44. These are the cucumber straight 8. We do eat a lot of cucumbers here. We eat a lot of watermelon and cantaloupe and squash. So I usually always plant things that we actually eat, and not just overseed and overplant and then not have have a lot of fruit and not know what to do with it. But usually we if we end up with a lot, we usually give it away to family. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to seed 8 of each, but I'll see what I have and then I'll work with that. So usually I start with these little pots. They're not that big, they're pretty small, and I get these at a local nursery, and they're like 5 or 10 cents each little plastic thing. So I usually stack up a lot on this because I usually start everything indoors. So I usually get a lot of these, and I reuse them. So once they're like all ripped, like this one's is still manageable, but if they're like more broken or bent or it can't hold the plant, then I'll just throw it away. But I've had these. I've had a few of these for a while now, and these trays also, they carry them there as well, and they're probably like 80 or 75 cents each. As you can see, I have them in here as well. That's where I start my flowers as well, and my vegetables, and then I'll just keep them there until I find a permanent spot for them. So I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna plant 8 of each, and then I just have my potting soil here. There is a specific mix for seeds that you can buy, but I always use just my regular potting soil. It's very loose, it's very crumbly, it has good drainage. The difference is that the seed mix comes with sphagnum peat moss, which holds water and it helps it keep moist, and this one has sand, so it's gonna drain much faster. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on them for them not to dry out and for them to be moist. Another thing, what I like to do is once I seed them, I like to cover them with a plastic wrap around them, just so that it can give them that heat and that moist inside. Once we get into that spot, I'll show you how it looks and what I do. But what I like to do is I just like to fill my pot here, and I like to press it down to eliminate any air pockets. And then I press it down, and then I keep it like that. And now they're nice and tight. And then I do this to all of them. And before planting the seed, I like to water them, so that way when you water it, the soil is gonna go down. And if you water them after you plant them, you might have the risk of the seed actually going a little bit deeper, which may have an effect on its growth, or if it even sprouts. So before I seed them, or before I place a seed, I like to water them. That way the soil can settle, and whatever it's left on the space, I'll just top it up with a little bit of soil left, and then put my seed on there. That way I can eliminate the seed going deeper once I water it. So I'll do this to all of them. And I push it down, and I put a little bit more just to pack it and have it right at the top. And then I'll just scrape any leftover, and then I'll have it like this. And then let's start with the squash. So each packet that you buy, it usually will have details on the back. It shows you the days to germinate, how deep you should bury the seed spacing, row spacing, and days to harvest. So this squash seed, it's gonna take about 7 to 14 days to sprout. Once it touches the soil and it's moist, you should plant it 1 inch deep. And if you're gonna plant your seeds into the ground, there should be a space between there should be a seeding space of 3 feet, and the row spacing should be 4 feet. And the days to harvest is 55 days to 60 days. So usually about in a month you'll be able to harvest. And I'm sorry, in 2 months you'll be able to harvest your squash, or start harvesting at least. So just make sure that every time you read you get a seed package, you read the information on the bag. It will show you how deep you need to plant your seed, how long it's going to take approximately to germinate, the space between each plant, and how long it's going to take to harvest. I like to keep a calendar, and on my calendar I always write down when I seed stuff. That way I know exactly how long it's supposed to sprout and when I need to harvest my fruit or my vegetables. And it should also come with a little map, so you can see when you should start your planting. And I'm in zone 1 here, which is, and actually it's zone 9A, and I should start from September to February. We're in May. Like I said, I'm starting late because my dog ate my plants. So, but here in zone 9, we have a long summer, so I still have plenty of time to plant this. And in 2 months, it'll be at the end of June, maybe. So maybe in July or August, or maybe at the beginning of August, end of July, I'll be able to harvest these. So I'll be good. So what you want to do is you just want to grab a seed and poke approximately an inch or so, like that, and then just place your seed. But before I do that, I always like to water, like I said. So I will continue with all of these and then water them, and then I will plant my seed right here, and then cover it up, and then probably water it a little bit more. But this time it won't sink because you had already watered it before and it already settled down. So your seed's gonna stay in that place now. You should want to plant 1 to 2 seeds, just in case one of the seeds does not germinate, the other will. That way you don't waste time and just you'll be waiting for it to sprout, but it's not going to sprout because probably the seed was defected or something happened with the seed that is not sprouting. So you should definitely seed around 2. You should definitely plant 2 seeds in 1 pot. That way you have a better ratio for it to germinate. If both seeds germinate, then you should definitely, once they're both sprouted, you should definitely cut one off. Or if you can gently pull it out without breaking the roots, you can definitely pull it out and plant it in another pot carefully and just water it, and hopefully it will survive and it will keep growing. But for this video, I'm just gonna demonstrate you. I'm just gonna plant 1 seed, and usually these kind of seeds, you can just throw them in. It doesn't really matter which side you put them in, if this side or this side. You can just definitely just throw it in there and it will find a way up. Since it's laying like that sideways, it will find a way up, and just tap it in and it should grow. You should water it, and just each day watch the moist level and make sure that it doesn't dry out. The seeds like to be moist, not soaking, but moist for them to germinate. So make sure that you're going to keep the moist level up and not let them dry until they sprout. Once they sprout, water them every other day, and then they should be ready to transplant. And I will be keeping an update. So today is May 8th, 2020. So next week, today's Friday, May 8th. Next Friday, I will check on them and I will make a video just to see how they're doing and if any have sprouted. And just make sure that once you plant them, for you to place a tag so you can remember which ones are which. So this side is going to be squash. This side is going to be watermelon, or maybe this is squash, and then I'll do cucumber here, and then I'll do watermelon and cantaloupe on this side. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all you want to do. Just make sure you read the package of your seed package. Make sure that you plant them at the depth that they're supposed to be planted, and just be patient for them to germinate. And once they germinate, then you're good to go and they'll be ready to transplant. So yeah, so I think that will be it for today. I will post a picture on Instagram of how these look after I finish planting all of them. And thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.